In this video, we're looking at a Lanair waste oil heater, the MX series. And this furnace in particular actually just got a new burner. What model is it? Anyway, this is brand new and it's off on reset or lockout. I just tried to run it and the flame looked pretty terrible, and then it shut off from bad flame reading in the flame sensor. First thing I'm going to go for is the nozzle, and I want to show you how to remove, clean, and reinstall a Lanair nozzle. So the first thing you're going to do is turn the power off, which I did up there, and then I'm going to disconnect my oil line, which in this case is pretty easy with my quick disconnect. My air line has some flex in it, so now I'm just going to unplug the whip here on the right side. I'm going to loosen these two nuts off there, open the door, and I'll show you once I get to that point. Okay. In this case, I do need to remove the thermostat wires so that my door can open all the way. Alright, I'm going to swing that open. There we go. While it's open, I'm looking at the retention head, which looks good. Electrodes look fine. So I'm going to take a 5/8 ratchet, stick it on the end of the nozzle there, unscrew it. Then I should be able to pull it out. There you go. And if you notice, this looks different than other waste oil nozzles. Lanair makes theirs longer with this extra tube, and there is also an extra quad ring, which you don't see on there because it stayed behind in the hole, and I'll show you where that is. First things first, this is out. Now I'm going to show you how to clean it. Okay, to clean a Lanair nozzle, the top is going to unscrew off the base. You may need your socket wrench for that, but in this case it's loose. So I'm unthreading that. And then on the inside, you'll have your turbulator. See if, yeah, you can see that. There's a lot of junk in there. So this nozzle was clogged. I'm going to take some brake cleaner and spray out each of these components. I do want to look inside. See, yeah, it's junk. It's hard to tell, but take my spray, clean them all out. And this can happen just from having a waste oil furnace if your oil filters get dirty, or if it's been a while since you've cleaned the nozzle, or definitely if you run out of oil. Then that can move all the junk around in your tank, and it gets sucked up into your oil line until it clogs up your nozzle. Blow through that. This piece is clean. Do the same with the turbulator here. There's a very tiny hole in the center of it. We're going to spray through that. And this part right here is all the same as any other waste oil nozzle. The 3 pieces, turbulator in the middle, clean them all out. Then you want to look through the center, make sure that it's clear, see light through it. That's good to go. All right, now time to put this back together. I'm going to hold this vertically, put the turbulator back on, and then I'm going to screw this back together vertically so that the turbulator doesn't move out of place. Screw that till it's tight, and then I'm going to take my wrench. I'm going to hold the base. This does have an extra set of threads right here, so be careful not to damage those while you're holding it. I'm just going to hold it carefully there. There's those extra threads. And then I'm not going to tighten this a lot, just a little bit more. And that's all you need. So that's ready to go back in. Let's go back up to the burner. I'm going to try and show you the O-ring on the inside, what we call the quad ring. All right. There it is. And you can see all that dirt and junk on the inside there. Look at that. So lots of dirt. That ring right there, that's the quad ring. That's going to go around the outside of the base of the nozzle. And I'm going to remove that so we can clean all that out, and I'll show you how to put it all back together. Okay, I have a little hook. I'm going to put that in there. And then carefully pull that out. Now I want to inspect the O-ring all around, make sure there's no cracks in it, and spray all that out. So there's our quad ring. I did clean it off because it was a bit dirty, but it looks like it's in good shape. So putting the nozzle back together, reassembly, first thing I'm going to put back in is the quad ring. I'm going to put a little bit of grease on it, and then we're going to need a 1/4 inch nut driver. So I put the grease on the quad ring, have my 1/4 inch nut driver. This is probably the trickiest part, getting it into that groove, and I'll show you why. So getting the quad ring in there, there's that small little indented area for the quad ring in the back. It's got to go in there smooth, and you want to put it in without damaging or ripping the quad ring. On the end of my 1/4 inch nut driver, and stick it in that way. And it's close, but see how it's not sealed there on the bottom? It's very close. That might be it. There we go. It's in. Now I'm going to be able to screw in the nozzle. So this part, the end of the shaft, has got to go through that quad ring we just put in. There'll be a little bit of resistance. And then thread it in. And this doesn't have to be super tight either, so you're going to go until you can't anymore. That's the end. Now I'm just going to go a little bit more. Alright. So I'm going to put this back together and we'll see what it does. Okay, oil line's back together. I'm going to turn the power back on. Let's see. Self-test. It's going to try and fire. Ignition. Alright guys, so I didn't get to show you, but it didn't light, so I ended up having to open it up again. I cleaned the nozzle a few times because there was so much junk inside. It turns out this unit's oil tank ran out fairly recently. So when that happens, all the junk in the bottom of the tank can get sucked up and it'll clog your nozzle multiple times, and you'll just have to keep on cleaning it until it's all clear. So now we have it running. Very nice. And I also, to try and get more stuff out of the oil line, disconnected it here and ran it into a bucket for a little bit before I reconnected it. But that's how you clean and or replace a nozzle for a Lanair furnace. Thanks.